Have you ever felt like you're slowly disappearing from the lives of the very children you once poured your youth into raising? It's not that they vanished all at once, it's little by little. First, fewer phone calls, then fewer visits. And one day you suddenly realize months have passed and you haven't even heard your child's voice. You sit in that familiar old room, a soft light casting shadows on the family photo from years ago, and a sharp question rises in your heart. Did I do something wrong? Or have I simply become invisible? That pain, so many aging parents are quietly carrying it, not because they stop loving their children, but because they don't want to be a burden. They watch from afar, through a rushed Facebook status, a photo of the grandkids that no one thought to send them directly, and tell themselves, I'm sure everything's fine. But in the late hours of the night, when the whole world has fallen asleep, when there's no TV sound, no footsteps echoing in the hallway, those questions come rushing back. Why have my children grown distant? Why do the ones I once held in my arms now feel like strangers? What changed? And most of all, is there still something I can do before this distance becomes permanent? If you've ever felt this way, forgotten, left out of your own children's life story, then this video is for you. Because today, I don't just want to name the pain. I want to walk with you through the deep-rooted reasons why the bond between parents and adult children often fades over time. Together, we'll uncover the quiet, emotional walls built between generations, and more importantly, simple yet powerful ways to slowly rebuild that bridge of love. This isn't just a list of dry advice. This is a journey back to presence, to understanding, to warm hugs and heartfelt eye contact so you can be seen, heard, and deeply loved again. And I truly believe by the end of this video, you won't just understand why your children may have changed, you'll feel empowered to change everything. Through love, not blame. But before we begin, I want to ask you something personal. Are your children slowly drifting away from you? If they are, please leave a short comment below the video. I'm ready to reconnect with love, not blame. Maybe, just maybe, your words will touch someone else who's reading and help them feel a little less alone. And if anything I've said has touched something deep in your heart, I ask you to take 1 second to like this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more stories like this. And if you're able, consider supporting the channel, because you're helping keep this space alive, a place where every heart, every voice, every mother and father still matters. So now make yourself a warm cup of tea, sit down in that familiar chair, and join me on this journey. Because maybe, just maybe, this is the conversation you've been waiting for years. And don't miss what I'll share at the end of this video. A small truth that might just change the way your children see you forever. There's a painful truth that rarely gets said out loud. Sometimes children don't drift away because they've stopped loving, but because the way their aging parents live makes it harder and harder to connect. Love doesn't disappear, but it gets buried under the weight of modern life, unresolved misunderstandings, and a generational gap that was never truly bridged. The first reason, and the most common one, is this: I'm too busy just trying to survive. In America, life never lets anyone rest for too long. Your child wakes up every morning with a mind already crowded by schedules, bills, raising kids, and the pressure to keep it together. In that whirlwind, there's still a place for you in their heart, but time for you seems to have vanished. It's not that they don't care, it's that this society is ruthless to those stuck between two ends, being both a parent and a child, and they forget that you too are still someone who needs love. The second reason, I thought you were doing fine. In American culture, independence is sacred. Seniors often don't complain, don't share their worries, don't want to burden anyone. But that very silence leads children to believe their parents are okay, that they don't need anything. And so, they quietly pull away from calls, visits, heartfelt conversations. They don't realize that every silence is a widening gap. The third reason, I remember the hurt more than the hugs. There are emotional wounds from the past, whether it was harsh words, too much discipline, or times you were simply too busy to listen, that still linger in your grown children's hearts. Not because they want to blame you, but because they don't yet know how to forgive. So they keep their distance, as a form of self-protection. Even though love remains, painful memories are easier to recall than the beautiful ones. The fourth reason, I don't know how to connect with you anymore. The world has changed so fast. Your children talk about digital life, social media, modern work. You talk about old habits, traditional values, unspoken aches. The cultural, linguistic, and technological divide leaves everyone unsure where to begin. So silence falls. But behind that silence is confusion, not indifference. And the last reason, the most heartbreaking one, I no longer see your value because you've stopped showing it. Many parents after 60 grow quiet, withdrawn, no longer sharing their thoughts or feelings. They shrink their world down to a few routines, lose their curiosity, stop storytelling, stop being the inspiring person they once were. And gradually, they become invisible in their children's eyes, not because their children don't love them, but because they no longer see those beautiful sparks that once defined their parent. If you recognize yourself in one or more of these reasons, please remember, it's never too late to begin again. Connection doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be sincere. If you're thinking of your child right now, leave a gentle message in the comments. I will open my heart to keep my child close. And if something in this video has touched your heart, please like the video, subscribe to the channel to follow more emotional journeys like this. And if you feel these words are needed by others too, consider supporting the channel through super thanks, because every contribution helps us continue to spread kindness to hearts that need it most. For many people, growing old means stepping back, leaving the spotlight to the younger generation, living simply, asking for little. But for Americans over 60, what they long for most isn't help. It's the deep desire to be understood as a human being who still holds full value. They don't want to be seen as someone who needs to be taken care of. They want to be acknowledged as independent individuals, people with their own thoughts, emotions, and dreams. They once led families, careers, entire lives. And just because they've passed 60 doesn't mean they have nothing left to say, to share, or to hope for. They don't need their children's money. What they truly need is an unhurried conversation, a gaze that truly listens, a question asked not out of duty, but out of a desire to understand. They're used to those quick calls. Are you okay, Mom? You doing well, Dad? Followed by a rushed goodbye. But in their hearts, what they're quietly waiting for is a real question. What are you thinking about, Mom? How are you really feeling, Dad? Do you miss anything? Older Americans are not looking for pity. They want affection, but affection that comes from respect, from a child who looks them in the eye and silently says, "You still matter." There's a sentence I believe many seniors carry in their hearts, though they rarely say it aloud. We don't need your money. We need your time, your voice, and your eyes looking at us as if we still have meaning. This isn't a demand. It's a deep emotional need that only those who have felt forgotten can truly understand. And if you're listening to these words and thinking of someone you love, someone who may be living quietly, hoping silently, still waiting to be seen, please share this video, because someone out there might need to hear this more than you know. A single share could be the bridge that reconnects two hearts lost in silence. At some point, we have to ask ourselves, will I keep waiting, or will I be the one to take the first step? Because sometimes it's not that your children are heartless. They may simply be waiting for a sign from you. And if you're looking for a way to reconnect, here are 5 things you can do. Not loud, not heavy, but deep enough to move your child's heart. First, don't wait. Be the one who begins. Maybe it's been years since you wrote your child a handwritten letter, not to complain, just to say, "I miss our conversations." A gentle message, with no blame, no demands, just to let them know you're still here and still hoping for something between you. When you take the initiative, your child will feel a different energy, a love that isn't clinging, but always present. If this speaks to you, try commenting below. I'll begin with a gentle hello. Second, show them that you're still growing every day. Maybe sign up for an art class, join yoga, start a blog about life after 60. When you live an interesting life, your children will be curious. They'll want to know more, and come closer. They want to see a light in you, not the dimming of age, but the quiet fire of resilience. Leave a comment as a personal vow. I will live with curiosity at every age. Third, tell your story, not just your worries. Your child knows you as mom or dad, but they may never have known what you once dreamed of becoming, who you once loved, where you once failed, or what small things once made you feel deeply alive. Those stories don't just help your children listen, they help them see you as human, with both light and the beautiful scars of living. If you're ready to open up, comment, I'll share the real story of who I am. Fourth, forgive in silence. Maybe you've been hurt by your child's indifference. Maybe a cold word once made you cry. But blame rarely changes anything. Forgiveness, however, can be transformational. You don't need to say, I forgive you. You only need to stop holding on to the pain in your heart. True love often begins with letting go. If this resonates with you, leave a comment. I choose forgiveness to lighten my heart. And finally, let your child be the hero in your story. You may not receive all the attention you hoped for, but when your child does something, no matter how small, acknowledge it. A simple I'm proud of you or you're a great parent can change everything. Because everyone needs to be seen, even the child who once disappointed you. They won't forget that look in your eyes, the one that said you believed in them when no one else did. If you're ready to see the good, comment, I will recognize the good in my child. If your heart is softly stirred by these words, please like the video to strengthen this message, subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories, and if you're able, consider supporting the channel through Super Thanks, so we can keep sharing these deep truths with those quietly walking through life's unspoken silences. Sometimes, to mend a bond that has faded with time, we don't need to do anything grand. Just one small action, at the right moment, in the right way, with genuine intent, can soften a heart that has grown distant. What matters is not how perfectly you do it, but that you sincerely want to reconnect with an open heart. You can start with something incredibly simple, a handwritten letter. It doesn't have to be long, just a few lines. I miss you. I wonder, do you ever miss me too? A birthday card with slightly shaky handwriting, or maybe just, it's such a sunny day today, and it reminded me of that picnic we all took years ago. That's not just a letter, it's an emotional thread, gently sewn back, stitch by stitch. Or try scheduling a regular video call. It doesn't have to be long, just 15 minutes each week. Don't just ask, how are you? Instead say, this week I cooked that dish you loved as a child, and it made me miss you. When you share your feelings, your child will be reminded of memories, and memories are where love still lives. A small handmade gift can also speak volumes. A knitted scarf, a jar of homemade jam, an old notebook filled with family photos with little handwritten captions beside them. It's not just a gift, it's a quiet whisper of love wrapped in this sincerity. And if you feel ready to do more, here's a deeply thoughtful idea, a weekly reflection letter. Each week, write your child a short note. Share a story from your youth, a life lesson, a reflection on family. No preaching, no guilt, just your heart speaking. Write down everything you wish someone had told you when you were young. Send it not to expect a reply, but to pass on wisdom, awaken love, revive memories, and rebuild a bridge that once felt broken. If something inside you just sparked, a soft feeling, a gentle reminder, or simply the thought, I want to do this for my child, then please share this video. Because somewhere out there, a father, a mother, a son or a daughter might just be needing a nudge, a hope, or a quiet message to come home again. In the end, you see, family love never truly disappears. Sometimes it simply gathers dust, from time, from busyness, from misunderstandings left unspoken. But if even one person in the relationship dares to quietly reignite that flame of love, something beautiful can still happen. And that person could be you. You don't have to be perfect. You just need the courage to love your child in a new way, with a heart that listens, forgives, and gently rekindles what was once warm. Sometimes instead of asking, why did my child grow distant? We can gently ask ourselves, Have I created space for closeness? If you take away one thing from this video, I hope it's this. You still have the power to change something. You still have the chance to write a new chapter in your family story. It doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real, real enough to touch someone's heart. And now I want to ask you, why do you think older parents are often forgotten by their children? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if today's message touched you, affirm your belief by writing this simple line. I deserve to be fully loved and connected. Just 10 words, but they might change the way you see yourself. If this video stirred something deep inside you, please hit like, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss future videos. And if you're able, consider supporting the channel through Super Thanks, because you'll be helping spread messages of healing, hope, and humanity to thousands of other seniors out there who need to hear this. In the coming videos, we'll continue to explore the quiet truths so many older Americans carry. The feeling of being forgotten, the pressure of living with adult children, or the silent loneliness that grows after 70. What would you like me to talk about next? Leave your suggestions below so we can listen to you and serve you better. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be loved. You deserve a life that feels whole, not just because of all you've given, but because you yourself are still full of worth. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. I'm the friend walking with you on this emotional journey, and I'll be waiting for you in the next video. See you soon.